Yo, what up? See if there's anybody in yet. I'm sure they'll be in a minute. Um, Otherwise, I think without further ado, we just gonna get right into it. All right, let's get into it right now. What up? What up? What up? What up? Peace and many continued blessings. I go by the name of G1 to the Rescue. Welcome to episode 212, episode 212 of the Mania Podcast, the Southwest Authority on wrestling, hip hop, and everything in between. Again, thank you for joining. Supposed to be us, but me. Thank you for joining me. I was supposed to be accompanied to ringside by DJ Ash 10, but I do believe she's busy at the moment. So bear with me. She may or may not get a chance to join me this episode. Otherwise, we're going to keep this real clear, cut, and concise. We do have quite a bit to discuss in the world of wrestling. I'm going to just kind of keep it condensed a bit. But man, this past week has been interesting to say the least, both good and bad in the world of professional wrestling. We'll definitely get into it. In the mean and in between, I want to go straight into the put over, which we know is everybody's favorite segment of Mad Mania Podcast, of course. And it's the one segment where we talk about anything that's not wrestling related that we dealt with or that we were feeling throughout the week. So since I'm the only one here, I'm gonna go ahead and just let y'all know what mine is. Now, my put over in this year, we've had some really incredible albums. You know, forgive me for saying it like that. I know I sound like a broken record.
What the hell?
I know, Moro. I know. We've had some really incredible music that has came out over the course of this year. A little bit earlier this year, Pusha T dropped This Almost Dry on us, which was mostly production from both Pharrell on one side, Kanye on the other side. A couple of guest appearances, but not too many. But overall, just a really stellar album, to say the least, on the hip hop side. Then we move on from there, and then Kendrick dropped probably one of the hardest albums on us not too long ago with Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. And there was so many great moments on that album in hip hop, and I definitely appreciate him for his contributions. However, however, I'm gonna say it just like this, and I'm gonna say it in the same fashion as the person who I'm about to discuss hopping in on this album. They didn't let the VLs in the dust. Much love. I want to send all love and all due respect to the main man, the big rabbit, the big lord, Freddie Gibbs, y'all. Freddie Gibbs has just dropped one of the hardest albums that came out this year, Triple S, which is an acronym for Sold Separately. First of all, we're going to get that man a hand real quick. Big crowd energy. Yeah. And we're going to drop a bomb for Freddie Gibbs. We got to. Man, Gangsta Gibbs, over a period of time, has proven himself time and time again to be one of the most consistent artist out there, as well as one of the most talked about. Like, he has a very interesting fan base, and most people love him. You either love him or hate him, but most people love him. He's not a bad dude, super genuine. Some of the best bars you ever heard came from my dude. But when you get into this Triple S, right? One of the things I really enjoyed about this project is the fact that he didn't have just one producer this time. Granted, I love the one producer one-offs. I love the stuff he's did with Alchemist. I love the stuff he's done with Madlib. I'm not mad at any bit of that. But in my humble opinion, to really hear Freddie Gibbs shine, you have to hear him shine on a multitude of production. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, this album was essentially Freddie Gibbs shining on a multitude of production. And on this album alone, we've seen production from who's all producing on the album. He got multiple records from producer Seven Thomas, who commonly works with Drake and so many others. Speaking of which, he got Space Rabbit, which is the video that he has out now from the album. Space Rabbit was produced by Boy Wonder. Shout out to Boy Wonder. He's one of my favorites. And real quick, I hate to divert, but I want to drop a bomb for the homie Mega Ran real quick, because he just dropped one of the rawest freestyles on Space Rabbit called Space Rapping. Drop a bomb for the big homie Mega Ran. So y'all go check that out. But anyway, back to Freddie Gibbs' album. I gotta say that with the variety of production from Seven Thomas to Boy Wonder to Alchemist to K Tronada, who normally does mostly R&B stuff, hopping in on this one, Anderson .Paak played drums on a record on here. It was just a solid record, to say the least. And anybody that disagrees, truthfully, I don't know what you're looking for. But please go check that album out. It is 14 tracks of just solid bar for bar, pound for pound, dope ass art deco hip hop, if you will. That's what I kind of distinguish it as, like art deco hip hop. That's what Freddie Gibbs is out here making. I want to drop a bomb for the Big Rabbit again, for just another stellar body of work. And not rumor has it, but he said it himself in an interview that he might be hanging up the music for a while, just because he has other things he wants to take advantage of. He got a couple of movie situations that he's actively working on at the moment. He's trying to do a variety show and yada, yada, yada. And he just said he probably not going to have the time to really like commit to music, possibly for the next couple of years. Who knows? So whatever Freddie decides, definitely want to give him the biggest blessing possible, but also at the same time, man, please don't leave us hanging for 2 to 5 years. We can always use more Freddie Gibbs music, man. Real talk. So again, shout out to Freddie Gibbs. Triple S, which is known as Sold Separately. Go get that right now, or go stream that right now on all the platforms, or go purchase it from Freddie's website. Go purchase some of that merch. The merch is fire. The whole casino theme, and then with the media shower and the rabbit from space, the merch is crazy. So definitely check out the merch. Go buy the album from the website. Otherwise, you can stream it on all platforms right now. It is a solid body of work. Triple S, Sold Separately by Freddie Gibbs. All right. So that's my put over. Now, without further ado, let's jump right into this wrestling shit. right? So I'm gonna just say it, and people are gonna be shocked to hear me say it, but AEW got to get it together. Okay, I love AEW. I think AEW is probably the dopest, one of the dopest wrestling promotions out here, just from a standpoint of being indie, but in the majors though, and so many dope, talented wrestlers get to take advantage of this wonderful television platform. And eventually, some of these people end up, really getting opportunities. Shout out to the homie Willow Nightingale, for example, who got her first live TV pin victory this past week on the Dynamite anniversary episode. So we're gonna drop a bomb for the beautiful Willow Nightingale on that. Big win, big tune, big tune. um, but yeah, I love AEW, and I got a lot of things invested in the AEW as far as work I put in with them early. But they got to get it together because the inmates are taking over the asylum, and for as big as a platform as they have, it's just not a good look at this point, and it's really taking attention away from the good wrestling that we're getting week to week to week to week to week. You don't see too many, if not a bad match at all, on AEW Dynamite, on AEW Rampage. Whether you're into the wrestlers that are wrestling or not, you ain't gonna see too many bad matches on AEW programming. The problem lies in the backstage drama, which now seems to be taking over what AEW is supposed to be around for, and that's the wrestling. So let's talk about that, because none of this backstage drama is kayfabe. This is all like real shit going on. First of all, let's talk about Sammy real quick. Sammy Guevara had recently, it's something that recently came out that Sammy Guevara was complaining basically about Andrade El Idolo wrestling too stiff and hitting too hard. And my response to that is just like, I would imagine, granted, I'm not no trained wrestler by any means. I've been around a bunch of them. I got a good relationship with a lot of the independent industry on the Southwest between here and Vegas. I got good personal relationships with a lot of dope motherfuckers. But I think the one thing that they'll all probably agree on is that the shit ain't ballet. You know what I'm saying? Like, there is a such thing as a receipt. That much I do know for a fact. If you're in the ring and you guys are working and somebody hits you too hard, then you pick a spot and you return that, and you hit them back just as hard as they hit you. You kick them back just as hard as they kicked you. You chop them back just as hard as they chop you. I know for a fact in wrestling that is referred to as a receipt. So I don't know when, like, motherfuckers doing their thing and they know what type of business they're in and they know what they're getting into. I don't know when it became a thing to where now, it's a bunch of complaints and shit like that. Like, my biggest fear, and honestly, and just as a disclaimer, myself, any other member of Mania Podcast has no personal issue with any of the people that we're talking about. Let's just be clear on that. My thing is, man, the same thing with the CM Punk situation. Sometimes folks got to know when to hold them and when to fold them, right? Then, to make matters worse, Andrade helps escalate the situation. From what I understand, they get into an altercation backstage, which things are kind of now coming out that Andrade allegedly was the one that started the altercation. He was waiting on Sammy backstage, and him and Sammy ended up throwing the first punch. From what I understand, allegedly, they end up getting the fisticuffs. They both get sent home. One set of rumors says that Andrade may be purposely trying to get fired from All Elite Wrestling so he can go to WWE with his now wife, Charlotte Flair, right? And here's my thing. If that's the case, I understand, but it just don't have to go that way. Like there's a better way to go about shit, or just uphold your agreement. You signed a contract when you brought your ass over to AEW, when everybody was cheering you on, everybody's excited about it. You signed a contract to be there for a certain length of time. So why not just make the most of it, work your contract, do everything you can to give yourself more marketability or sellability, if you will. And then you become more valuable in the long run to whoever may sign you, whether it be WWE or one of these other promotions that I'm sure you wrestled for in the past, back when you were wearing full luchador gear. But I truthfully just think that AEW, the backstage shit, is being more put out in the open than the wonderful in-ring action that we get from them week to week, and it's kind of fucked up. The whole altercation with Punk and the Young Bucks and Kenny and whoever else was involved in that took attention away from AEW for about a week. It had to get back around to, hey, we a wrestling show, we're gonna focus on this, that, and the third. And just when you think they got shit under control, then this situation happens, and it's like, man, bro, like seriously,
What the hell?
it's like I want every single person working a career, not a job, but a career, to get everything that their hearts desire. But also, one of them things that you have to understand is, once you commit to that career, there are no easy ways out. Once you sign certain contracts, there's no easy way out. I know that just from stories I've heard in the record industry. Professional wrestling industry isn't that much different. That's why things like our podcast exist, because we understand that there's a link between the music industry and professional wrestling, as far as how people arise to the occasion. At one point, you're just somebody, a nobody, a no name, out here trying to make a name for yourself. If you're a rapper or a singer, that may be you recording your own stuff, or if you had an inability to record your own stuff, then you can go to the studio and get beats off YouTube and try to work it out and write their own stuff, whatever. So with professional wrestlers, it's very much the same. These dudes, what's the common saying is, a lot of these guys start out in the business working for a handshake and a hot dog, and then they go from there to, so many years later, ending up wrestling on an international platform with an identity that's all their own, and just flourishing, right? Now, I say that not to be long-winded about the situation. I say all of that to say that very much same story on both sides, in terms of how things happen and how growth happens. And once you get to a certain point, then you got to uphold your contract. Right? And I don't know, man. Like, I guess this is what we expected to happen if Triple H was ever gonna take over WWE. but it seemed like AEW was doing perfectly fine. And this may be their whole strategy over there. This may be just sound manipulation, excuse me, on purpose. But I'm gonna tell you this right now. And fellow wrestling fans, level with me on this. AEW didn't start getting wishy-washy backstage until Vince McMahon formally retired and Triple H and Stephanie and Sean started taking over the show, or the shows, plural, to the point where 2 months in, and people like the core wrestling fans who have been disappointed at WWE for quite some time, we're loving WWE again. And it took for our biggest wishes to happen as far as Triple H and Stephanie taking over the whole shit. And that's exactly what they're doing. But ever since WWE got better, AEW, not their television shit has gotten worse. The programs are still hot. Dynamite and Rampage are still dope. There's still good wrestling on both programs. You got Battle of the Belts coming right after Rampage on Friday. But the backstage shit, ever since WWE started getting better, AEW started getting worse behind the counter. And I don't know what it's going to take for shit to get better, but I really want to see these guys succeed, and I want to see this wrestling promotion continue to stay around for another 3 years, and another 3 years after that, and another 3 years after that. But I will say that, with all due respect to Mr. Khan, to Tony Khan, he got to get his baby in order. You know, AEW is his baby. AEW is his son. His son acting out a little bit. He might have to spank his son, if anybody understands what I'm saying. Because, man, we can't keep having moments over there like this from week to week to week to week to week, and again, them overshadowing the wrestling. Now, not too much of that has happened this past Wednesday, by the grace of God, just because one of the biggest segments on the Dynamite Anniversary show, and granted, there was some really cool stuff that happened throughout this whole show, but probably one of the biggest segments in the Dynamite Anniversary show this past Wednesday was the Acclaim's National Scissoring Day. I got to tell you, they right now literally are the truth when it comes to like tag teams and that sort of thing. Them and FTR get an equal pop wherever they go. And that's no easy feat. That's no easy feat at all. So I definitely got to tilt my hat to them. But National Scissoring Day was a lot of fun. Billy Gunn did his damn thing. The crowd was hype. It was kind of like National Scissoring Day was their celebration from winning the tag belts and that sort of thing. It really felt like more of a celebratory type thing, but there was a lot of fun moments in that segment. And I almost felt like they had to go hard in the paint with that, because so many things have happened on the other side. It would just overshadow this whole show if they don't do something that's just like out the box that can maintain people's attention. But I think the National Scissoring Day did just that, and I want to give all love and praise and shouts out. If at any point they listen to this, I want to give all love and praise to both Platinum Max Caster and the 5-tool player Anthony Bowens, your AEW Tag Team Champions, the Acclaimed, because they are doing it big right now and well deserved. But yeah, everything will be fine if Tony could just get that together in the back. Now, meanwhile, on the WWE side, things just really get better and better and better and better. WWE has been really interesting the last 2 months now. We got nice rivalries and things like that going on. We got a whole new group with Bailey and Damage Control. We got the return of a couple of popular groups. One of those groups being Imperium, minus Axel, the Axeman. Mind him that left. I think he's back on the Indies, if I'm not mistaken. But as far as the three core members, talking about Gunther, Giovanni Vinci, and what do they call Marcel Bertel now? I think they call him, was it Ludwig Kaiser? Yeah, as far as them three, the core members of Imperium, I think they did a good job reintroducing them, and I think they've been doing their thing ever since. Now, not to go back into that, but just saying so many cool things have been happening in WWE, and I think a lot of it has to do with Triple H kind of making WWE his NXT baby like he's always wanted to, and rightfully so. He has every right to do that. With this weekend's Extreme Rules coming up, so many cool things have happened. First of all, as many of you already know or may not know, the Fight Pit is happening again. So that Fight Pit situation is going to be great. And as a matter of fact, what we'll do right now is we're going to go into Extreme Rules. Okay, WWE Extreme Rules will be live on the WWE section of Peacock Premium, because it is a premium live event. So you must be subscribed to Peacock at $9.99 a month in order to watch the Extreme Rules live event. Okay. Or share a password with your friend, whatever you want to do. But anyway, let's get into some predictions. So I want to start with Extreme Rules for the SmackDown Women's Championship. So Liv Morgan is going to be defending her title against Ronda Rousey. Now, this particular Ronda run has been not the best, but it hasn't been the worst either. This particular Ronda run has been all right for what it is. Could it be better? Yes. Could it be worse? Hell yeah. But matching her with Liv Morgan kind of more so on like the big sister, little sister vibe. Like, hey, truthfully, you can't fuck with me. You wish you could like walk a mile in my shoes, or you wish you could do these moves, or you wish you could be that person. And then Liv kind of, reverting that back and being a daredevil and saying what she got on her mind and doing everything that she's supposed to be doing. It's going to be interesting to see where that goes. So again, Liv Morgan defends her belt against Ronda Rousey this Saturday at Extreme Rules. I talked about the Fight Pit a second ago. Cool part about that, for those of you that aren't familiar with the Fight Pit match, I strongly encourage you to go watch a few NXT premium live events from a couple of years ago. If I could think of the exact live event that the Fight Pit debuted, I'll tell you. But this is going to be special because not only is this essentially a cage fight, but legendary MMA star Daniel Cormier is going to be refereeing the match. That shit's cool. So I'm really excited about that. Rumor has it he's been wanting to work with WWE for quite some time. This just so happened to be the time. So there it is. I'm really happy for him. So that Fight Pit match, I'm going to say personally, Matt Riddle probably has the best chance of winning that match just because Riddle is somebody that has experience in that type of environment as a former MMA guy. So he could really thrive in that environment, and he could probably teach Seth a few things. So blessings to both them brothers. That ought to be a good match. This match, of course, is one of the big ones. Drew McIntyre versus Karrion Kross in a strap match. Okay. G1, what the fuck is a strap match? They're gonna be basically mama beating each other. They're gonna be each of them are gonna be attached to ends of a fucking strap, and it's gonna be a whole thing. That shit's gonna be interesting because also this is Karrion Kross's very first WWE Premium Live event in this new run. So for those of us that's been saying for the longest, we want to see Karrion Kross, but we want to see hints of Killer Kross. I think we're going to get that in this match. So that ought to be interesting. And Drew McIntyre putting Karrion Kross over also wouldn't necessarily disvalidate Drew McIntyre. Drew is going to be Drew regardless. But, I definitely got to think that him and Karrion are damn near equal. And it's just going to be a fight flat out. So definitely be on the lookout for that. Also, we have a ladder match for the Raw women's title, and the people in that match come down to Bianca Belair, obviously the EST of WWE. She's going to defend her belt against 5 other women. You know what those women are? Alexa Bliss, Asuka. Actually, I take that back. The ladder match is a one-on-one. So it'll be Bianca Belair versus Bayley. They'll have their people in their corner for the Raw Women's title. I misread that. Forgive me. Matter of fact, I am going to do this to myself. And I'm going to do this to myself. Shout out to Leon Rogers in Chicago. But anyway, so yeah, that ought to be interesting. We know that Bianca and Bayley been throwing shots at each other for a few weeks now. The build up around this pay-per-view has just really been amazing, and I definitely just look forward to the rest of it. I Quit match, Edge versus Finn Balor, Judgment Day at ringside. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. Also, we got the Brawling Brutes, which is the faction of Sheamus, Ridge Holland, and Butch, aka Pete Dunne, versus Imperium, who I was talking about earlier. And this is a 6-man tag, good old-fashioned Donnybrook match. And that's basically another way of saying no disqualification, a fancier way of saying no disqualification match. So it's going to be interesting to see what that comes up. But I know it's going to be, as they like to say, a banger because we've already seen what Sheamus and Gunther could do on their own. Now we're going to get the trios, and this is just really it's going to be fun. I really look forward to that match. That match I'm extremely excited about. So again, that's the WWE Extreme Rules Premium Live event card. You want to watch it, go stream it. Saturday, Peacock Premium, WWE section of Peacock Premium. Saturday. Okay. Now, speaking of AEW, if you are listening to this, know that this was recorded on a Thursday. For those of you that will be listening to this on the stream, this was recorded on a Thursday, October 6th to be exact. So by tomorrow, which is Friday, October 7th, there will be the go home episode of SmackDown, which goes into Saturday's Extreme Rules. Then you'll have AEW Rampage, which is going to be live. And then immediately following that live Rampage, you will also get Battle of the Belts 4, which will also be live. And that'll all be on TNT tomorrow. So definitely make sure you check both those shows out, Rampage and Battle of the Belts 4 or Battle for the Belts 4. Check your local listings. If you have Sling TV, Rampage, if you have Sling Blue, Rampage should come on East Coast time. So you'll probably see Rampage at 6, and then Battle for the Belts 4 will be at 7. So definitely Make sure you watch both of those. I have a Battle of the Belts card up right now. So far, we're only looking at 3 matches. Most Battle of the Belts are going to be extremely short, but they're always good matches, and there's always titles on the line. So first and foremost, within this, very short but straight to the point match night at Battle of the Belts 4, you have Pac defending the AEW All Atlantic Championship against Trent Beretta of the Best Friends. That's going to be really dope. The second thing I found out was it's going to be Willow Nightingale going up against Jade Cargill, trying to take the strap off Jade. She'll be going up against Jade for the TBS title. And I think that came off of the heels of Willow Nightingale's big win Wednesday on Dynamite when she pinned Penelope Ford in that big ladies trios match following that Dr. Bomb. Y'all sleep on Willow Nightingale because let me tell you, Willow is essentially AEW's version of older Bayley, of not now Bayley, but Bayley before with the ponytail and the wacky wavy and tube and the wacky wavy inflatable tube men and all that shit. Willow, from a personality perspective, gives me Bayley vibes because she's cute and she's all that, and she comes out there, big smile, dancing, doing her thug dizzle. But then when that bell rings, she'll whoop your ass for real. And I've noticed that, just over a few weeks. And I think that's why she was granted that TV time, and she went ahead and took full advantage of it. I hope we see more of her for the foreseeable future. And it looks like she's gonna get her title shot tomorrow against Jade. So check that out. Also, FTR versus Toa Leona and Khan, aka the Gates of Agony, representing Ring of Honor, and that match will be for the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championship. So we obviously know what type of run that FTR have been on for quite some time now. Again, the first biggest pop you hear next to the Acclaim is always FTR. So we'll see how this ends up. I definitely don't see the Gates of Agony taking the Ring of Honor tag belts from FTR, but it's also not my company, so I guess we'll just have to see what happens. But that ought to be interesting nonetheless. Again, Battle of the Belts 4, immediately following the Friday, October 7th edition of AEW Rampage on TNT. So just be on the lookout. All right. Another little brief discussion I kind of wanted to have, which is difficult for me to kind of do it just by myself, but I want to sit this on y'all brain for a minute, okay? Sometimes, as you can see from like the direction that wrestling's been going, especially with the AEW shit, sometimes you got to know when to hold them and when to fold them, man, especially if it's for the betterment of multiple people and not just yourself. And I hope that somewhere down the road that All Elite can get it together backstage, because I truly love them. I truly appreciate the programming that they put on week to week. I truly appreciate the acquisition choices they make. I truly appreciate their current roster. Please do better. Please do better. Stop bringing your personal issues to work. Stop making issues out of shit that there shouldn't really be issues out of. And I think because right now I feel like we still have 2 solid products that are just good across the board. I feel like we'll remain having 2 solid projects continually across the board. Hell yeah. But I'm not gonna, talk on here for 2 hours by myself, because that would just be weird as fuck, obviously.
What the hell?
Right, my thoughts exactly. So with that being said, I'm going to do one last thing. I want to give a shout out to one of my good homies, Nate Hamer, who pulled up on me this week. And for those of you not watching this on StreamYard and listening to it on your streaming platforms, Nate Hamer is an independent professional wrestler and a good friend of mine out of Tucson, Arizona, about 2 hours away from me. And he was in town visiting his son, and he pulled up on me with a gift. And this gift, those of y'all that can see it in the camera, you probably recognize that cast. If not, what I have here in my hand is a pack of the Sliders TV show premium trading cards that have never been opened. These are from what year? These are from 1997. And for those of you that watch Sliders like me, that was about season 3 time. That was, when the professor got shot and all that shit. But I'm really excited about these just because I don't think I've ever owned a single piece of Sliders memorabilia in my life. So please believe me when I say that as bad as I want to take these out of the package, these may not be coming out of the package for life, because up to now, this is the only piece of memorabilia I own from probably one of my favorite science fiction shows of all time, if not my favorite science fiction show of all time. And I definitely want to thank my good friend Nate for bringing this up. Couple of announcements. We're on the heels of some big things happening. Y'all already know that Teak is about to be on stage soon. He's doing the Halloween show hosted by Respect the Underground, along with a bunch of other artists. Teak Hall, who of course is not with me today. Shout out to Teak. He'll be back next time. He also has an album coming out, a really stellar album called Chinatown, which you guys are going to love. Seriously, when it drops, it's going to be some really amazing stuff. I also got some stuff, myself and my brother, who as a collective go by the name 1313. Our self-titled debut is will be dropping before the end of this year, and we're currently mastering everything. Y'all, when I tell y'all I've never been so proud of a body of work in my life that I've done, this is really, really special. So be on the lookout for that, definitely. So many other things out there in the world for all you Marvel fans. Newest episode of She-Hulk is up. Go check that out. A certain someone made his first official MCU appearance in this episode. So definitely go check that out for sure. And, so many other things to get into. Last but certainly not least, I definitely want to provide a snack of the week. And my snack of the week, to be 100% honest, and this is with all due respect to Papoose, who's definitely one of them dudes, bar for bar, in my opinion, a whole legend. So with all due respect to that black man, my Mad Mania, excuse me, my Mad Mania snack of the week. Snack of the week. My Mad Mania snack of the week is gonna have to be Remy Ma. Y'all didn't see this outfit. This red, almost see-through situation. I don't know if she had it on at the awards. If I can remember, it might have been at the awards where she had this outfit on, right? When I say like Remy Ma, she might be a sleeper for some of y'all. I've been wide awake for quite some time. First of all, if you know anything about me, I love anything chocolate. I have a lot of love and respect for all women of all shapes, colors, and sizes, but it's just something about a sexy chocolate woman. She just thick and she just fine for no reason. And Papoose lucked out. And she can spit circles around a lot of niggas and a lot of females. She can wrap circles around a lot of motherfuckers, regardless of gender. So, total package. Definitely. Shout out to Remy Ma. Remy Ma, for me, because I'm the only one in here right now, is our Matt Mania snack of the week. Also, we don't normally get into political topics on this show at all. However, I do want to make an announcement that I feel affects a large portion of us in here, or many of you that enjoy our show. As you all know, every one of us that is part of Mania Podcast are all advocates for legal and safe cannabis usage, because we are all legal and safe cannabis consumers in a state that legally sells recreational and medical cannabis here in Arizona. So we all take full advantage of it and we all enjoy it. Just like they enjoy it in many other states halfway across the country. So I say all of this to say this. I want to, for the very first time, I've never done this on any other platform, I want to drop a bomb for our current president of the United States, Joe Biden, because we talk shit about Joe and we do the Sleepy Joe and we do the Brandon shit and this, that, and the third. And granted, he's not perfect by any means. However, he said from day one that he was going to do something about the notion of too many innocent people being behind bars for simple drug possession on a federal level. For those of y'all that don't follow the news, or for those of y'all that may not even have like all the social media accounts and stuff like that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you that as of a little bit earlier today, Joe Biden has struck the first blow in the battle against federal cannabis legalization. He has struck the first blow. A news report came out a little earlier today, basically in so many words, saying that, hey, if you have a jail record and if you're behind bars for petty marijuana possession, I'm pardoning you. Do y'all hear me? President Joe Biden is pardoning federal simple possession cannabis convictions. I got to give him big crowd on that. Big crowd on that. Blessings to that man, Joe Biden, man. I won't recite the whole thing verbatim, but I'll give you bits and pieces on what he said in this address, okay? He says, and I quote, this is Joe Biden's words, not mine. He says, and I quote, "As I often said during my campaign for president, no one should be in jail for just using or possessing marijuana. Sending people to prison for possessing marijuana has upended too many lives and incarcerated people for conduct that many states no longer prohibit. Criminal records for marijuana possession have also imposed needless barriers to employment, housing, and educational opportunities. And while white and black and brown people use marijuana at similar rates, Black and brown people have been arrested, prosecuted, and convicted at disproportionate rates. Today, I am announcing 3 steps that I am taking an end to this failed approach. That I'm announcing 3 steps that I'm taking to end this failed approach. First, in so many words, he says he's pardoning all prior federal offenses of simple possession of marijuana. He's talked to the attorney general to get those certificates to those eligible individuals, which should be hundreds of thousands. There'll be appeals and things of that nature for those that may not have gotten out of that. Second, he's talking to all the governors and he's urging all governors to do the same with state marijuana offenses. And lastly, but certainly not least, he's been communicating. He'll be in communication with the Secretary of Health and Human Services and the Attorney General to initiate the process and review how marijuana is scheduled under the Controlled Substances Act, and why is it a Schedule 1 substance next to things like heroin and LSD, actual things that can kill you, while marijuana cannot. So I had to speak on that as a person that both works in the cannabis industry and as an advocate for legal cannabis. I gotta say that as much shit as admittingly we all talk about Joe Biden, if you aren't happy about that report, then you'll just never be satisfied. And I don't know, maybe it doesn't affect you, but it damn sure affects me. So I got to tilt our hat to our president. Shout out to Joe Biden. Drop a bomb for Joe. Big deal. Now, final thoughts. In short, we get a lot of people that come to us in public places and they talk about how much they love the show and how much they appreciate what we do here at Matt Mania. I just want to say we appreciate you right back. We love you right back. And if you really love us that much, tap into the show. Interact with us on Twitter. Most of the time, and I'm going to tell you this, most of the time on the Twitter page, it could be one or two of us. I'm not going to tell you who, but one or two of us will be in control of the Twitter account at all times. One or two of us is in control of the Instagram account at all times. Interact with us, tap in with us, watch the streams, listen to the show on the back end. Many of you do, many of you share it, and we thank you for that. But this train ain't stopping no time soon. So we just want to let y'all know that Matt Mania Podcast will continue to go on. And this is our baby, and we love it, and we cherish it, and we love our watchers, and we love our listeners. With that being said, I'm G1 to the rescue with the energy. Thank you for joining me on the solo dolo side. We're about an hour in. So like a newborn baby, I'm headed out to serve, and we will see you guys in 2 weeks, hopefully with a full house, but we'll see you in 2 weeks from today with another episode of Matt Mania Podcast. Until then, on behalf of the rest of the squad that is not here with me today, please, by any and all means, keep your shoulders off the mat. Love you. Be well, smoke weed, dress well, lean on God, and we'll talk soon. Peace.